Hello once again, this is your professor, Danny Kabulay, for the course Accounting Information Systems. And we're now still in part 1 of chapter 5, the expenditure cycle. Now let's talk about traditional segregation of duties. So we have a lot of things to consider, no? There's the warehouse, inventory control, accounts payable, general ledger, requisitioning, purchases, returns and allowances, and cash disbursements. And then, when you talk about segregation functions, you must take into consideration the custody of the asset inventory by the warehouse, which must be separate from record keeping for the assets by the inventory control. Then you have custody of the asset, cash, by the cash disbursements. It must be kept separate from record keeping for the asset by the accounts payable. Now, extensive consolidation of the computerization of tasks traditionally segregated. Computer programs authorize and process purchase orders. Computer programs authorize and issue checks to vendors. And within the expenditure cycle, supervision is of highest importance in the receiving department, where the inventory arrives and is logged in by the receiving clerk. But you need to minimize the following: failures to properly inspect the assets and theft of assets. Okay? So that means, wag ka lang masyadong magtitiwala sa mga staff who, even if they're doing their jobs, you need to still supervise them. Babantayan mo pa rin sila kung tama ba ang ginagawa nila. Maaring tama yung ginagawa nila, but they're not doing it in the most efficient way. So you need to coach them, you need to supervise them. Okay? That's the role of supervision. Supervision is a very important internal control. The lack of supervision could pave way to irregularities. Okay? Kasi sabihin ng mga staff, hindi naman ako chine-check ng boss ko eh. I can do whatever I want. Okay? That is very risky. Now, when you talk about computer-based supervision, so you don't see your boss lingering around or looking over your shoulder to check on what you're doing. Sometimes through the computer, they know if you're doing the right thing or not, or there's something funny going on. Okay? Automation often leads to collapsing of the traditional segregation of duties. It requires greater supervision. Kasi pwedeng ang tatlong transaction ay gagawin na lang ng isang tao. Pero somebody must be supervising. So you now intensify supervision because of computerization. Okay? Hindi totoo na pag nag-computerize ka, nawawala ang supervision. In fact, nagiging mas intense pa siya. Supervision takes on new aspects as technology advances. So, nagkakaroon siya ng mga ibang function kapag ang technology ay nagiging mas advanced. Supervision is more intense because it becomes more difficult as the workplace becomes more sophisticated. Habang nagiging advanced ang technology, yung level of supervision becomes more intense as well. Okay? Now, you must maintain adequate records for accounts payable, vouchers payable, checks, general ledgers, subsidiary ledgers. Okay? But the question is, how do you control them? Now, accounting records rest on the reliability and security of stored digitalized data. Accountants should be skeptical about the accuracy of hard copy printouts. Kasi kung minsan yung hard copy, may mga errors yan. Okay? You need to have backups also. Okay? Just in case something happens to your files, maging makorrupt sila or ma-virusan, at least you have a backup. Most automated systems still have a lot of paper documents. So kahit na computerized na yung system mo, nagpiprint pa rin ng saan katutak ng mga records. Dapat yung mga reports, electronic reports na lang siya. Okay? Para makatipid tayo sa papel and it's good for the environment. Now, when you talk about access controls, who do you authorize to change some of the, say, password or to access certain records or to access physical assets? Okay? So, that's a question that you need to ask also. Pag masyadong maraming tao nagkakaroon ng access sa isang bagay, it is prone to irregularity. Something wrong could happen unless your supervision is very intense. Okay? So let's look at some computer-based access controls. Magnetic records are vulnerable, both authorized and unauthorized exposure, and should be protected. Must have limited file accessibility. Programs must be safeguarded and monitored. Now, when you talk about independent verification, accounts payable department verifies much of the work done within the expenditure cycle. PR, PO, receiving reports, and suppliers' invoices must be checked and verified by accounts payable. General Ledger Department verifies the total obligations recorded equal to the total inventories received. Ibig sabihin, yung lahat ng na-receive mong mga inventaryo, yun ang babayaran mo. Pero pag mayroong difference, then you have to reconcile. Okay? Now, automating the accounting function reduces the need for verification by reducing the chances of fraud and error in the expenditure cycle. So pag halos lahat ay computerized, napakadaling i-reconcile niyan. Okay? However, the need for verification shifts to the computer program and the programmers where fraud and error may still be present. Now, here is the final question for this week. So question number 10. Ving card is a familiar brand of plastic room key card used in hotels. Alam niyo yung mga cards na parang ATM card. Yan na yung ginagamit ngayon. Hindi na yung traditional na metal key. Okay? So when you enter a hotel room, no, plastic card na yung pinambubukas ng pinto. Okay? So meron siyang electromagnetic strip. Yun po yung binabasa ng computer. So malalaman, marirecord kung sino yung pumasok sa kwarto at sino yung lumabas. Okay? In a particular hotel, guest rooms are accessible to each guest upon issuance of the corresponding keycard or duplicate when they check in. Pag bagong check-in sila, bibigyan sila yan. Kung isa lang yung guest, isang keycard lang yung ibibigay. Pero kung dalawa sila or more, dalawa ang pwedeng ibigay na keycards or as requested. Pwede mag-request ng 3 o 4 kung marami talaga sila sa kwarto. However, the housekeepers assigned to clean also have access to the guest rooms. Binibigyan din sila ng tinatawag na master key card for one entire floor kasi isang floor ang lilinisin niya eh. So, pwede niya mabuksan yun. Pag wala na yung guest, bubuksan niya yung kwarto para siya ay makapaglinis, right? O kaya kung aayusin niya yung bed or merong inutos na may pinapakuha, yan. So, yun po ang access ng mga housekeepers. Okay? Now, sila lang ba ang may access, yung housekeepers? Hindi po. Pati mga managers, mga department heads. So particularly, tatlong klaseng department head. No? Yung executive housekeeper, kasi siya yung manager ng buong housekeeping department. Ini-inspect kasi niya yung nilinis ng mga tauhan niya, kung tama ba ang pagkalinis. That's a form of supervision. Okay? Front office manager, kapag may VIP na darating, they need to inspect the room of the VIP before nila i-check in, right? And then the duty managers, and they inspect rooms regularly also. Sila ay pinagkatiwalaan ng mga master key cards, okay, that can open all the rooms in the hotel. Okay, they have access. All entries to a guest room are detected and recorded in the computer. Kaya pag ginagamit yung key card na yon, nakarecord yun sa computer. Kaya pag kinuha mo yung printout ng computer, nandun yung logs. What time pumasok, what time lumabas, what time pumasok uli. So the whole day, meron siyang log ng lahat ng mga entries to the room. At kaninong key yung ginamit? Master key ba? Or ang ginamit ba ay yung guest key? Okay? In a particular hotel, one guest claimed that she lost her high-valued jewelry. No? Mamahalin yung kanyang alahas na nawala. Sino kaya ang kumuha? Or inimbento lang ba niya yung kwento na yon? So, ni-report niya sa security. When the security officer investigated, the computer log revealed that 5 people entered the said room for the past 2 days. 5 tao pala. Since arrival, magmula nung nag-check-in siya. The executive housekeeper, minsan lang. So, ano yung minsan lang? Maybe nung nag-inspect ng room. Yung duty manager, okay? Kasi yung duty manager, nag-inspect din niya ng mga rooms, okay? Minsan lang din. Yung guest, 6 times niyang ginamit yung key para pumasok sa kwarto. Okay? So sa isang araw, 2 beses siyang lumabas. Okay? And yung kanyang asawa, okay? Twice ginamit ng asawa niya yung kanyang card. And the housekeeping staff 4 times during the past 2 days. Now, here are the questions you need to answer in the comment section below. How will you start your investigation? May nawawalang alahas. Sinong pagbibintangan natin? Okay? How will you start your investigation? What additional internal control would you suggest to prevent a repeat of this incident? Ano kaya yung magandang internal control para hindi na mangyari ito? Okay, that ends now our video lecture for today. So this is video lecture number 10. I'll see you around for video lecture number 11. Bye!